Good afternoon, NASCAR fans of all ages. Steven here once again. And it's that time of the day when I make my predictions of the Cup Series, Xfinity and Truck Series races at Daytona and Milwaukee respectively, along with my thoughts of everything else that took place since Tuesday. Before I get started on that, don't forget, if you'd like to see more videos like this, hit or smash the like button, subscribe for more content like this, hit the notification, and of course comment down below. Any interaction with all of you is greatly appreciated. And I want to say thanks. So with all that out of the way, let's get started. First thing on the agenda is that NASCAR, or the appeals panel, did hear Austin Dillon's case yesterday, and while they did reduce the suspension of the spotter from 3 races down to 1, they ultimately ruled with NASCAR. Childress will file one final appeal, and that appeal will be heard most likely next week. Personally, I think that the original penalty was fine. Shouldn't have been altered in any way, shape, or form, unless you want to make it more severe, like say double the points. But from a financial reason, I do get Richard why he's making this final appeal, even though realistically, it's a slim to no chance that the person they're going to talk to will side with him in this regard. But we'll find out next week what the final decision is regarding Austin Dillon. Of course, if he wins Daytona, then this is pretty much pointless. If he doesn't, then this is going to be a big deal for Austin Dillon to make the playoffs or not. Same thing if he wins at Darlington. Because right now, those are the only 2 chances left of making to make it the playoffs without the appeal process going in his favor. So, with Richmond out of the way for the time being, until next week, when we can finally wrap things up with that, let's talk lawsuit. As Hendrick Motorsports is found, as Hendrick Holdings, Motorsports Holdings, well, Hendrick, or the associate, or the company associated with Hendrick, is filing a nearly $2 million lawsuit against Hooters due to lack of payment. That's $2 million, nearly $2 million with interest. No word yet on when the court will take place. The ruling will take place regarding that. But as soon as one becomes available, as well as a verdict, I will of course let you know. Now, yeah, Hooters is responsible for the money and all, but if they have to pay it, it could mean that more restaurants will close and more people could be out of work. Hopefully they can reach some sort of agreement and get this settled, but if not, I'm going to side with Hendrick on this, as far as that goes. But we have to wait to see what the judge has to say about that as well. Now, next up I want to talk about is NBC's decision of going non-stop for green flag laps for Daytona, Atlanta, and Talladega. And I think it's a great idea in that regard, and I kind of wish they kept it in the first place. Instead of not using it all the time. I mean, I get it to an extent for the advertisers, but this way the advertisers can still get paid for the commercials, and the race fans won't miss anything if there's a green flag action on the track. Obviously, at the end of stages or cautions, you will get full breaks, most likely. But it's going to be interesting to see how this will play out for those 3 races only. Maybe we'll convince the other networks to bring it back full time next year. As it turns out, PRN's Doc Rice is not the only rare person that is going to retire at the end of the season. MRN's Jeff Striegel is also going to retire at the end of the season as well. New was both the very best of luck in retirement in that regard. There's also going to be a new rear window air deflector will debut at Daytona. Also, the plan is to try to keep the car on the ground for as long as possible. Whether or not it will work, we'll find out this weekend at Daytona if it will work or not. But hopefully it does, because at the two flips in the same race weekend, it's a little bit concerning to say the least how Daytona will play out if we get any flips or not. Now before we preview Daytona and Milwaukee, there's one other thing I want to talk about regarding the Xfinity Series, and that is the Kligerman penalty. Basically, due to an illegal spoiler, his expression, the team was docked 20 points, 5 playoff points if the team makes it, and $25,000 fine. Basically, a L1 type penalty. And yeah, I think the punishment would fit the crime in this case. It could have been worse. That spoiler could be found illegal after the race, and they would have been in trouble. But I doubt that there'll be any appeals or anything like that. We'll just wait and see if this will affect Kligerman in the playoffs or not. Speaking of the playoffs, before we talk about Daytona, let's get Milwaukee out of the way first for the Truck Series, as their playoffs begin this weekend, Sunday afternoon on FS1. Now, as you know, these 10 drivers will start the playoffs for the Truck Series. Heim, Atkins, Majeski, Sanchez, Caruth, Enfinger, Ingram, Gray, Rose, and Dye. Now, of those 10, this is who I think is going to win this weekend, or at the very least, finish the highest among the playoff drivers, and who, at least, will begin the playoffs in a bit of a hole. The two drivers I think that probably won't make it out the first round will be Gray and Dye. I don't know why, to be honest, but they've just been that consistent compared to everybody else in the field among the playoff drivers. And I think unless they can prove it wrong and get a win in this round, then those two will be the most likely the ones to be having to watch someone else win the championship when we get to Phoenix. First, as for the race winner, well, I doubt Atkins, Heim, or Majeski will win every single race in the playoffs. But I think one of those three could win this weekend in Milwaukee, and most likely I think it will be Majeski making it 3 races in a row. With Atkins and Heim being the best for the other respective manufacturers. Of course, if I'm proven wrong, then we'll congratulate the race winner on Tuesday. Now we're talking about Daytona right quick. The Xfinity Series Friday night on USA, Truck Series race by the way, FS1, don't forget, and NBC Saturday night for the Cup race, which would mark the debut of Lee Diffie in the broadcast booth if you didn't see Tuesday's video. Although Rick Allen would still call it the Xfinity Series races. For the Xfinity Series, Austin Dillon is by far the best super speedway driver they got in that series, so he's going to be my favorite to win in the Xfinity Series. But 3 more to keep an eye out for, I think, would be Custer, Smith, and Allgaier. Be 3 more that could contend for the win, but this is Daytona, and, well, anything can and will happen in that event. So we'll just wait and see on that. And as for the Cup Series, well, you still got the likes of JGR in 2011 representing Toyota, as, let's face it, any one of those 7, plus Eric Jones, could be the best Toyota performer at Daytona. The Fords, you got RFK, Front Row, and Penske duking out, and Hendrick, Trackhouse, and Church for Chevrolet, all along with JTG Doherty. Now, anything can happen at Daytona, but for the Cup Series, I say Byron, Keselowski, and Reddick will be the three favorites for their respective manufacturers when we get for Daytona. A 3, I think Reddick can go back to back. He has won the last speedway race at Talladega, plus he has shown to have great speed in the past as speedway races. But we'll find out on Saturday how everything plays out. Well, folks, that's about it. I see all of you back here on Tuesday with my thoughts on Daytona and Milwaukee, recapping everything, and then previewing on Thursday the Southern 500 and the Xfinity Series race at Darlington. And one last thing on NBC, real quick. Until Talladega, this will be the last race they'll cover. So just keep that in mind that for the next handful of races afterwards, USA will call the Cup race. We'll do the Cup races as well, along with the Xfinity race, until we get to Bristol, when the CW takes over for that series. But in the meantime, this is Steven saying, see you later, and bye. Just when you thought I was done, well, breaking news. It seems that Kligerman was not the only one who got a penalty for Michigan. In Hamlin's team just got a penalty as well, and it's a doozy. Due to an engine inspection violation, their crew chief was docked $100,000, plus both the driver and the owner got 75 points docked, and 10 playoff points were docked as well. Ooh boy, those 10 playoff points could be the difference of making it out of the first round, or potentially making it to the final, or potentially making it to the championship for their Hamlin. So, whoops. Of course, we have to wait and see if Gibbs would file an appeal with this or not. But if they do, good luck. If not, well, they can pay the penalty and move on. But anyway, since that came up right quick, I did want to at least give my quick thoughts on the matter just the same. And for real this time, I'll see you on Tuesday with recapping everything else that took place at Daytona and Milwaukee. Bye!